Welcome back YouTube. My name is Dennis Panuta for tutorials.eu. In the last video you have learned what an integer, a float and a double is. In this video we are going to have a look at variables with the data type bool, string and char. So let's go ahead and create a bool variable called isAlive. What that can have assigned to it is one of two values. It can either be true or it can be false. And that's the beauty about booleans. They only have those two values and they are very, very effective and very important in Unity or in general in game development or in programming. So let's say our guy is alive, then we would enter true, and if our player is not alive, then we would enter false. So let's say at the beginning we want it to be true, so our player is alive, then we can assign that, or we can assign it this way. Then the next one is string. So we can create a string with, for example, player name. So let's say we prompted the player to enter his name and we want to save it somewhere. And one option would be to save it within a variable. And the variable would be of type string, because string can contain text as a series of Unicode characters. So let's say we have a guy called Joe, and that's going to be the player name now. Now the last variable type or data type that I would like to show you is char, which stands for character. And considering that a string is a series of Unicode characters, then it contains multiple characters. So that means a char is just one single character. So let's say we have this character is, and that could be any Unicode character, for example, a percentage sign or an and sign, or it could be a dollar sign, all those kind of things. Or it could just be a letter or even a number. But if it's a number, now it's not a number in terms of health and so forth, but it is a number of type char. So it's a character only. So it cannot be multiplied or added to or something like that. And now I get an error because here I don't use quotation marks, but I use parentheses, so single quotation marks. So the single line here. So you can see whenever I want to use a string, I have to use the quotation mark. In a string we use quotation marks, and for a character we have to use an apostrophe. All right, so these are the three data types that we're going to use. So let's quickly use them here, where we simply debug log username is plus the player name plus this character empty space plus this dot or this character. So now let's have a look how this will represent itself in Unity. Let's start our game real quick.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe and like the video.
And we can see health is 200, username is Joe, this character 2. So the statement that we have here is printed to our console, and it says just what we have here. So we are using concatenation, which means we create a string, then we add a different value to it. In this case, player name is Joe, and then we concatenate it once again. We use this plus sign. So we add one string to another string to another string, or in this case character, and then we print it out or we log it onto our console. So what will we use those types for? Well, bools we will use for things that are only true or false. So for example, player is alive, or player has a gun, or player can shoot, those kind of things. Strings we will use for player names, for text entries, for pretty much everything that has to do with text. And if we only need one simple character, then we will use char. Usually that's something that is very rarely done. So at least in video games, char is not so highly used. String is a much more used data type. And of course, we have those variables here as well. So you can see the new behavior script has the player name. We could change that to Dennis, this character could be a percentage sign, and those would be printed out here as well. All right, those will make a lot more sense as soon as we use them. You will see many use cases for those different data types. For you, now it's just important for you to understand which data type is used for which kind of information. Great, so see you in the next video where we are going to have a look at methods in Unity and C#. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like. And if you have any questions or suggestions, then leave a comment. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. And by the way, if you really love the content and you would like to have more of it, or pretty much all of it, then of course, check out the link in the description to my whole course. See you in the next video.
Fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands.